time. So now he has been granted same in America now. Because the Aaron Greenspan that made the request alerted the court and said, the court should ask FBI to start releasing this thing now. It's almost end of the October. Moreover, Tinubu has already constituted the Supreme Court justices in Nigeria that are about to legitimize him and confirm him and all of that stuff. So this record may even help that Supreme Court of Nigeria in making their decisions. If these records are released now, release them, we will see them. So Tinubu's lawyers responded and said the court should ask Aaron Greenspan, why the rush? Why must it be done now? Why? What is his own interest? You understand? Like, Tinubu is not saying they shouldn't release the records. Okay, like Joe don't, but he's saying, okay, fine, since you are obeying a court that says you should release the record, Abi. But I'm saying my enemies want to use them to embarrass Nigeria, and they want to use that to destroy the image of Nigeria. Do you understand that? That the timing is not because they want the truth. It's because they want to use the truth, or whatever is in those records. They want to use it against Nigeria. And he would like to defend that by the 31st of October. So the court adjourned till 31st of October and said they will now listen to his arguments. Okay? And the court said, that's true. Like, why the rush? You know what I mean? Or like, why must it be done now? Why are you so like, let's give everybody this chance to argue their case in this war. And it's to Tinubu, it is called stalling. Slow them down. The Supreme Court of Nigeria is going to deliver their judgment on Atiku and Obi's appeals on the 2nd of November, next week. You understand? So which means if they meet on the 31st and they ask for, okay, the judge will say, okay, give me time. Let me go and review all the arguments and I'll give my ruling. You understand? So that new judge will now what? Will say, okay, yeah, they should go ahead and release them now, like the Chicago State University. By then, the Supreme Court of Nigeria would have delivered and said, Tinubu nko, yeah? And that is when the wahala will start. And that's the key point of my conversation last night, of my broadcast last night, that now that you know that this is where this is headed, okay? So what is going to be your own action after that? What is going to be the next move? Are you just going to then what? So I then decided to let you know that Tinubu has planned this all through, and his team, they've planned it all through. They are not worried and they are not bothered about any record. They told people in Nigeria that there is no any record of FBI, anything. It's just all fake news, all lies. But like I said, you cannot be a normal person and be in you cannot be supporting Tinubu and APC and still claim to be a normal person, that you are not a mad person. Okay? Tinubu told them in Nigeria that there is no any FBI record. Chicago State University confirmed that he attended their school, and the certificate is presenting, it was issued by them, even though there's nothing like that. They are boldly saying that in Nigeria. Boldly. Okay? So the same, what do you call it? The same Tinubu is telling people in Nigeria that there is no any FBI record anywhere. All of them are just fake news, rumors. But the same Tinubu has hired lawyers to stop FBI, CIA from releasing his record. What is he hiding? If you are not a mad person, like I said, even if you actually support them, but you are not mad, won't you ask yourself that, okay, if this person don't get anything to hide, how come he's paying lawyers in America and stalling and stopping them from releasing his record? What is he hiding? Well, I know say you don't get that sense to ask as APC. I'm just saying, okay, that if to say you get that sense to ask, if you have that kind of brain to ask, I mean, you kind of be upset too now. Like, what is he hiding? But you are not. You are interested in me and everybody asking, because to you, they have told you they are his enemies, okay? Because there's no any record. Now, I'm going to remind us something. It's just, it's just on the side. I got that sent to me earlier. Was it yesterday? It was yesterday, and it was about what do you call it? Tinubu and his hang on, let me see if I still have that. I think I do. Right. So Tinubu and his drug heroin trafficking in America. They have told a lot of people in Nigeria, they believe that they have managed, since the tribunal in Nigeria said it is just fishing. There is nothing real on the issue of Tinubu's heroin trafficking. Here is the case, here is the investigation for the sake of posterity. How Tinubu was involved in heroin trafficking. His wife, Muiz Akonde, Benga, what is that one called, Agbele, how they plotted everything. How Tinubu forfeited $460,000 for heroin trafficking in America. So this is probably part of the criminal records the FBI, IRS are expected to release, DEA, to release to the public. But this one is already in public, it's not redacted. Okay, so when people tell you that Tinubu is a drug baron, drug dealer, this is because there is evidence. But the thing is, when they were looking for him, he's already run back to Nigeria. And immediately he ran back to Nigeria. He quickly joined Nigeria politics. So when Abacha became the president and what is it they call themselves? NADECO. NADECO was formed by pro-democracy groups which cut across all over Nigeria. Even though today their propaganda will make some of you believe that Nadem started NADECO. Tinubu was not a foundational member of NADECO. But when it became apparent that Abacha was not going to leave power, so Tinubu joined the pro-democracy group as well, using drug money to fund the activities of these pro-democracy groups. Okay? And that was how he became a member of NADECO. And the same excuse he was using when he decided to become a Guinean. He was issued a diplomatic passport of Guinea due to his drug dealing and heroin trade at the time as well. These are evidence or court document from America. So when somebody tells you that Tinubu is a drug dealer, it is not because they hate him. It's not because they hate his success or whatever. It is because it is true. But by the time this was happening, Tinubu has already run away from America, living on asylum in the UK, still doing his drug dealing and drug running, of course. And Dele Momodu, who recently said that they thought Tinubu would have mended some of these abnormalities before he decided to go and say he wants to be president. But everything is catching up with him now, because he always believed in his invincibility. He believes he is invincible. But I said, no, he's not invincible. Nigeria is a criminal contraption, is a crime scene. So while the other criminals who participated in this drug dealing, this is where even his mother, Abibatu Mogaji, was also mentioned as when Tinubu, when they found the 1.8 million US dollars in his bank account as a proceed of heroin trafficking. Tinubu said the money belonged to his mother. Okay? And because the law of the US at the time on forfeiture said they cannot take any money if they have a forfeiture of cash, right? The IRS could not take beyond 460,000 US dollars. You understand? So everything else they collected from other members of his heroin trafficking gang, majority of them went to jail. Okay? And some of their properties were confiscated. This one is the stories, the court document that documents the Tinubu's heroin trafficking and how his wife, Remi Tinubu, that is First Lady of Nigeria today, was also part of that heroin trafficking trade, helping them to open bank accounts. This is not a report. This is a court document. This is not what do you call it? This is not a journal or a news report. This is a court document that detailed Tinubu's heroin trafficking. So they've managed to change the story in Nigeria to they are just fishing. There is no evidence of all of this. No evidence. And people will boldly tell you they are just his enemies trying to bring him down. And because of his invincibility, as of today, the Nigeria Supreme Court is now being told that they should remember what they are actually getting themselves involved in. Even if they won't tell everybody that the pressure is coming directly from the drug baron himself. But they are not blind, and they are not, I believe, they are not stupid as well, because you must be really, really smart crook to be able to use a rigged system on 200 million people and still go to bed at night and sleep fine. Sure, you get. But as some will say, if it is going to be the last excuse they are going to use in reacting to say, well, before Nigeria goes completely to the dogs, they will have a last fight. Well, the judiciary will be the catalyst or so for it. So yeah, if the FBI will release their documents now or later, we already have what we know. And we believe that the Nigerian judiciary also have what they know. I mean, so they already have what they should have. But we know where this is headed. By the way, I'll take another break because we are now going into the economic part of it. You cannot elect and then support criminals. You cannot boldly act so stupid to give power to criminals, defend them when they steal it as well, and expect a functional country. Again, that my man. So before I actually get on, this has also gotten the NADECO, which Tinubu pretended to be part of at the time, to deny and say Tinubu has brought shame. He has brought shame and, in fact, destroyed democracy. The simple tenet of democracy is that it is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. People is so much pronounced in the definition of a democracy. Tinubu believes in that policy of grab it, snatch it, and make a run with it. And he also believes that even if he is as crooked as everybody knows, there is nobody that doesn't have a prize. And something happened. NADECO decided that they were going to do a world press conference, calling on the FBI and the American government to investigate Tinubu, and not just Tinubu, to also investigate the Chicago State University of their complicit in this international disgrace that Tinubu has brought upon Nigeria. But do you know what happened? They decided that they were going to hold the press conference inside the Chicago State City Hall. So they've already booked the place and they've already invited the press. Now, that was supposed to be yesterday. So when they arrived, they were told that, sorry, we would have to return your money to you. We've been trying to reach you. There's another organization that is going to use the place. And they've actually paid almost triple. In America, that's the story. That's what the NADECO said, that they had their money returned to them because somebody else has paid for the place. So they had to go and find another makeshift location to issue their press conference. It is about 8 minutes long. I'm going to say you can take this moment as a break while you listen to the oppressor. I would have read them back to you, but they did read them themselves. They did read it themselves. Here you get denying and denouncing Tinubu, calling on the FBI and the American government to probe the involvement of the Chicago State University in this entire fraud. Ladies and gentlemen, like and share the broadcast. If you haven't paid your offering, please do now. Like the broadcast, okay? And let's go to the oppressor. A quicker.
If so, who issued the diploma and where did Mr. Tinubu obtain the diploma from? Why did Chicago State University not issue a diploma certificate to a student the school claimed graduated from Chicago State University? Could Chicago State University have issued a certificate to a student who has not met or satisfied the required credit for graduation? The Nigerian people would like an answer to the question above, because the authenticity of the diploma has thrown Nigeria into a political upheaval ever since the conclusion of the election. Furthermore, the Nigerian people and NADECO USA would like clarification on the following. Based on the pertinent portions of the transcript obtained during the deposition of Chicago State University Registrar, Mr. Weber, the University Authority admitted that the Bola A. Tinubu with Social Security number 231-06-0595, I repeat, Social Security number 231-06-0595, who attended Chicago State University, had completed a total of 105 credit hours and needed to have completed an additional 15 credit hours in order to graduate. Those classes included, but were not limited to English 222 and mathematics. So, number two, did Bola A. Tinubu eventually complete those 15 credit hours? And if he did, when did he take them? Additionally, transcript from Southwest College that enabled Mr. Tinubu to gain admission as a transfer student via a social security number different from Mr. Tinubu's social security number. I want to pause here before I continue. In the United States, you can only have one social security number, and that is your identity. That is your identity. If you have two social security numbers, there is a problem with that. Additionally, the transcript further showed that the gender of the applicant was female, whereas Mr. Tinubu, who supposedly graduated from Chicago State University, is a male. All these depositions were under oath by Chicago State University. 3. Again, the gender of the transfer student was stated as that of a female, and therefore it has become necessary to clarify why it is so. Upon graduation, the gender has changed to male. Mr. Tinubu seemed to be associated with two social security numbers. The Chicago State University should explain why it has two social security numbers. As if that was not confusing enough, it has been confirmed that one of the social security number 231-06-0595, originally issued in the state of Virginia, is currently being used by someone else, a female. NADECO therefore demand the following. 1. The Board of Trustees of Chicago State University, CSU, to thoroughly investigate the bizarre circumstances regarding the issue raised above. B. That the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, to also initiate an investigation regarding the same concern raised above. C. We would also like a clarification from the FBI about a letter making the round that purports to have been issued by the FBI in response to Nigeria Economy and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, inquiry as to whether Mr. Tinubu attended Chicago State University, CSU. According to the letter, from the FBI office, Mr. Tinubu did neither attend nor graduated from Chicago State University. Kindly reconcile the Chicago State University position that Mr. Tinubu attended Chicago State University versus which state that he did not. EFCC wrote a letter to FBI to confirm whether Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did attend Chicago State University. And FBI in a letter that they sent back or replied to EFCC said that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not attend or graduate from Chicago State University. Now, there is a contrary opinion. Chicago State University under oath said he graduated, that he exit, that he attended the school. FBI said no. So we need to reconcile these two facts. That's right. B. NADECO USA would like the FBI to find out if Mr. Tinubu had in the past several years made any donation to Chicago State University, directly or through third parties. This question is important to the extent that we would like to know if there was some monetary or other inducement made to Chicago State University aimed at securing certain privileges from Chicago State University. We need to clear the air. We need to clear the air because our president lives in Chicago. So we need to clear the air. We want to know the real identity of the person that is sitting as well right now. E. NADECO USA will also like the FBI and the Social Security Administration to determine how a social security number belonging to another person began to be used by Mr. Tinubu. The issue is whether it is a matter of identity theft or was the original owner of the number aware that a social security number was being used by another person. Again, social security number 231060595 is not President Tinubu's. What is the true social security number and what was his name? What his name is it under? We want to know. We want to know because you can only have one social security number. And the social security number that Chicago State University submitted as exhibits when they were making their deposition in court under oath was this social security number. But we have discovered that this social security number belonged to a lady in the state of Virginia, established. Now, what is the social security number of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? F. Who actually owns the social security number 2310605, written on the transit that the Chicago State University registrar used as an exhibit that was attached to the deposition given under oath? G. We are citizens of Nigeria from all over the world. We are asking and requesting the United States University Accreditation Body and Chicago State University Board of Trustees to look into this matter in order to clear the good reputation of Chicago State University. NADECO USA is committed to the struggle to save Nigeria from corrupt and bad leaders. We therefore seek your cooperation to help Nigeria do a thorough and complete background check on Mr. Bola Tinubu, an enigma that has consistently fought to hide his true identity. The world needs to know why President Bola Tinubu habitually goes to court to stop the release of his document if he does not have anything to hide. Since Tinubu is now the president of Nigeria, it is the interest of Nigeria, national security, and global security for the world to make sure that the man who presides over the affairs of the biggest democracy and economy in Africa is not a criminal. I don't want a criminal to be my president. Neither do you want a criminal to be your president. Do you want a criminal to be your president? The press corps? Nobody wants. Nobody wants. America, another part of the developed world. As an American voters, And firm believers in democracy, we appeal to our elected officials to take this issue serious, to protect democracy in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. Henceforth, Nigerian American voters will be looking at candidates' records and respond to Nigerian issues before we cast our vote. We are no longer going to be voting on one side fix of voting. Candidates must earn our vote before we get there. Yes, now we are wiser. Candidates, we that we are Americans, when we cast.
Well, that's a long read. I told you, and thank you very much for listening. That moment that we were all listening is also the moment that I also received the news of, it's actually a very bad one, okay? So that news is that, you know, when I say, may Nigeria no happen to us, may Nigeria no happen to me, or may Nigeria no happen to you and the rest of that, yeah? It's actually a very kind of a prayer of reassurance to feel like maybe, you know, just maybe it won't happen. I'm going to tell you something I've just been told now. Some people will remember this, they will remember this story. And it is the story of how Nigeria is such a criminal contraption that Nigerians, I mean, we Nigerians, we are pretty much the reflection of the criminals that are running the country. Shall you understand? People do criminally things and they will be like, there's nothing anybody can do to you or do about it. And that's one of the things that usually, or should I say, that is the main thing that has make it more convenient for the criminals who are mismanaging Nigeria and ruining Nigeria to keep getting away, okay? Because those who are enabling them are not really different from them. Why am I telling you this? As you are watching this video, this live broadcast, Nigeria has happened to Mayegun. It's a very sad one. 10 years ago, okay, 10 years ago, I was encouraged to buy a land in my hometown, Odogbolu. And I did. I can't remember what the exchange rate was 10, 11 years ago, but it was actually the first money I was able to put together when I got to the UK. And I'm talking about when I had no papers. I was working in the toilet every weekend, selling aftershave in the men's toilet in different clubs in Glasgow. I had no papers to do the real job, and I wasn't opportuned to meet those that can at least give me some papers to use, at least get some nice or decent job. And that's exactly what I did for 6 years, among others. But the first money I put together was 600,000 naira. And Yakufu said, in fact, the money was more than that. The money was like about, let's say about 900. It wasn't up to 1 million naira, but it was like 900,000 naira. So what happened then was, because I gave out that money, I am doing Mayegun on social media, just expressing myself. And around the time, people were like, yeah, Maye, please help me, please help me. So I would just tell her, let me send 5,000. Let me send 10,000. Let me send 20,000 to this account. So because she felt like I was going to give all of the money away, she decided to encourage me to buy land. So 2 plots of land in my own hometown, Odogbolu. And that's how I became a landowner. And it was a good thing. I was like, okay, yeah, that's great. We'll do something on it. But I never really did until 5 years ago. By the 5th of November, today is 22nd, right? So in 2 weeks' time, it is going to make it 5 years, or the 5th year, that I received a call that my mother was dead. It was one of the most devastating time of my life, but my dad died a year before. Okay. And this time around, I was like, no, I'm going to have to go. I'm going to go to Nigeria and bury her. And guess what happened when I got to Nigeria? I mean, I'm an Ijebu man from Ijebu. So it won't be a bad idea if I had my mom buried in my own house, if I had one. But I didn't have any house. But that was when my land became very much valuable. Right? So I buried my mother on that land. And from that moment, I started feeling like I was going to do something, but it was just 2 plots of land. And what I wanted to do is not like, because I don't have any plan of living in Nigeria. Okay. And I am somebody who believes that wherever I die, may them bury me. Okay. However, these are part of the things that are personal, that you make, you feel like they are doing everything to push people who could have actually come back, like in the good old days, come back and bring whatever they have, their success from abroad, bring them back home, and then reinvest back into their immediate community by contributing to the economy of the place and every other thing that you can contribute, having lived abroad for a while. But over the years, as Nigeria continued to deteriorate, more and more people continue to get used to the life of criminality, and they started normalizing it. So my own plan was that I have no plan of living in Nigeria, okay, for the rest of my life. But it doesn't mean that I'm not going to actually be in Nigeria. I'm going to be in Nigeria. I'm going to be in Yoruba land. I'm going to be there all the way for as long as I live. But my plan is not like everybody else's plan. Building some place you call your pension home. When you grow old, you can return there so that you can die in your. No, I'm not that kind of a person. Wherever I die, bury me there. Do you understand that? So, however, I started having plan for the land. So what I was going to do was to build something like a guest house, that kind of like a bread and breakfast. Okay. So whereby maybe few people will be kind of servicing it and working there and getting paid. And whatever they are making from that place, they can begin to use it to just maintain the place. It's not like a business for me. Then I'm going to build my own penthouse. That was my plan. I was going to build a penthouse at the top of that guest house, right? And that penthouse is where I'm going to live every time I come around. Well, my mom was buried there. But that was a small place. I would have loved to buy more. But, that dream didn't last. So few months after I buried my mother, I received calls from those who were supposed to be the elders or elderly people from my place. And guess what? They said, well, the person I bought the land from is their family member, but he didn't give them part of the money. Therefore, I would need to rebuy the land from them. And if I don't rebuy the land, they were going to take it over. I was like, okay, but my mom is buried on the land. And they said, we don't give a damn about that. Your mom's place is just 15 centimeters or something, they said. It was 15 feet. I was like, how could you say that? I grew up in Odogbolu now. You know me very well. How could you even think that way, like that? So they said, okay, maybe they were just blabbing. Anyway, I was angry. But nevertheless, I just told them, I made a video that year, 5 years ago. I made a video. I said, please don't touch my land. I've heard the stories of what they are doing with people there and all that. Please don't. I don't have any power to fight or anything, but don't try it. So they said those Baba now said, I put them in the newspaper that now they are going to take the land. So I was like, okay, you're going to take my land. Okay, I'm not going to do anything on it. Let them go and take the land. They are like these politicians, okay? These old men, they get arrested and they get released by courts, okay? And they'll go back and do the same thing and again. So they are known very much with the law enforcement, the courts in Nigeria. So people have been so frustrated that taking them to court or using police to arrest them is just like sending them on vacation. They will be back again. You will still lose. The corrupt system in Nigeria is going to require you to spend so much money to bribe the courts and to bribe the police and then pay lawyers and all of that stuff anyway. So, but I was just kind of so angry. Now, I am telling you my story because this is Nigeria that just happened to me. However, they didn't do anything on the land. So I was told this year that I could buy some more and I could do whatever I wanted to do. So I said, okay. So I gave them money. Another 2 plots. This time around, things are like, this Baba, they waited for me to pay. They came again and they said, they didn't go to their family member. No, they didn't go to that person. They just went straight to my new land, next to the old one. And you know what they said? They are taking that land. That's your husband took us to the media. And because he took us to the media, we want him to go and do his worst. We heard that he just bought this land. This one, I bought it this year. I don't know how they kind of convince me and continue to convince me to kind of put my money there. And I continue to advise people to be careful of where they put their money. But look at me. It's not so much money, but it's cheating. You know that? It's chancing. They are chancing me. They're like, They said they've taken it over. How could you take over a land? They said because it was me that bought the land. If I want my money back, I should go back to the person who sold it. I was like, hey, this is my land, though. You can't take my land. I still mentioned that a few days ago or so. You can't take my land now like that. How can you do that? Baba, you old men, we are supposed to be those who should be encouraging all of us children to come back and bring whatever we can bring back and develop our community and contribute there. And how could you do that? I said, no, they're taking it. And in fact, they are selling it. You see that one that you had your mother buried? We are also taking over that. I'm going to show you pictures of my mom's burial 5 years ago, so that I can join you with the emotion because I'm feeling so angry, so angry. But I'm trying to you know what I mean. But while I was here trying to present my usual sermon and all that, I received the message that they've actually sold the land. They've sold both of them. The one I buried my mom on that has been there for a while, they've sold it. They have sold the one I just got now, just today. No, not today. The person they sold my land to, I just put up a borehole there right now. I still have all the court documents and the papers signed by all of the families. The funniest thing is that as these old men are dragging my land with me, the person who sold the land, they are also there standing. And they are just like, we don't know what to say. What do you mean you don't know what to say? You sold the land, this is your brother, and you have shown the document that shows that you actually have the right to the land. Like, why can you just stand there and say you don't know what to say? But people have told me that that's what they do in Nigeria, okay? So they will just be like, don't worry, we can go and find you another one somewhere. We can look for something. I said, but how can you buy a land? How can anybody buy a land that somebody is buried? How could you do that? They say, it's Nigeria now. Even you yourself, even you, if you have any land anywhere, go and build on it too. Say me as stubborn. I agree, say I'm stubborn. I have said it many times that I am stubborn. And say stubbornness, sometimes it go lead to beating. That's what they say in Nigeria. They say if you are very stubborn, it will lead you to beating. I mean, it will lead to your beating someday. But it is also the same thing that said that, what do you call it? No be everything. You go to slap and you go to beat. Sometimes you go try and beat one small one, even though you have beaten everybody, big one, small, rich, poor, everybody. But you go just meet this one that is so ordinary, and that one will be your end. I am going to be their end. Okay. And I am still appealing to them anyway. So they said one has already constructed borehole on my land that I pay over $1 million for, like that. And they have said that I should go and do my worst. I don't have any worst to do, but the members of the temple, I just want you to know that whenever I share happenings in Nigeria with you, and I try to tell every one of you to try, that because some of these things haven't happened to you, does not mean that they are not happening. And because you don't feel like they are happening, means that you will never understand when the victims of Nigeria try to express their rage. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you call it? It's like a place where you have no justice, a place where everyone is just like trying to take advantage of one another, a place where crime is disguised as being smart. I was told that, how could you leave your land for 10 years? I was like, if I buy a car and I've paid for it and I decided to park it